Yeah, so our focus always being on the science of writing exceptional software that does business automation. We
Yeah.
have incredible business analysts that learn the business like that. We tend to do a lot of work in financial technologies. We do a lot of work in medical industries, so laboratories, hospitals, doctors' offices. And we do a lot of work with startups.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
So let's dive in. David, thank you for joining us today on Business Ninjas. We're excited to have you on the show. Why don't we start by just covering a couple of the basics, right? So the name of the company, where you're based, and the website where people can find you.
Sure. My company name is ISU Corp. It's a software consulting firm. We've been writing custom applications since 2005, and we focus on growing our clients' profits with automation, software automation. They can find us on the site isucorp.ca. So www.isucorp.ca.
Great. All right. And maybe you can give us a little bit of background on kind of your arc and how you came to this present adventure. So a little bit of bio on your background.
Yeah. So I fell in love with computer science when I was 15 years old. And, back in the 80s, you needed to write a typewriting exam if you wanted to graduate from middle school. And I was failing miserably. And then I was introduced to a computer and a text editor, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to write on a computer. So laziness got me interested in computer programming. So from there, I got a computer science degree, moved to Canada. I got a second computer science degree in Canada, and I decided to start my own business. It went terribly wrong. I almost went bankrupt in 2 years, but I was able to sell it and pay all my debt. And then I went to a corporate ladder. So I became a senior technology leader for multinationals. But I always had in my heart that desire of being my own boss, especially when I saw in large corporations how slow they were moving and all the restrictions. So I opened the business with three ideas in mind. First idea is I should allow to let developers work from wherever they want to work at whatever time they want to work, as long as they deliver on time and on their budget. Second, remote work is the future, and I'm here to prove to the world that it can be done. And lastly, it shouldn't matter the culture of the developer as long as the values of the developer are similar to the company values. While respecting time zones, so I always respected Eastern and East and West time zones, so North American time zones. So all our developers are within 3 hours of our clients. So that was my premises, and I proved it. I started with 3 people, myself and 2 Canadians, and then in 2 years, we had people in 2 countries. Now we got people in 10 countries.
Wow. And it sounds like you got on the remote bandwagon a lot earlier than most people had to 2 years ago when, everybody had to go remote. So we'll cycle back to that. And in the kind of world that you inhabit, are there certain industries or niches that you focus on, or are there certain places where you have better results than others right now?
Yeah, so our focus always being on the science of writing exceptional software that does business automation. We have incredible business analysts that learn the business like that, any business process. However, we tend to do a lot of work in financial technologies. We do a lot of work in medical industries, so laboratories, hospitals, doctors' offices. And we do a lot of work with startups. So well-funded startups that they don't know how to create a proof of concept or whether they need help on creating the technology, then we help them out.
Okay, and then across those 3, I'm wondering, are the goals and the challenges that they're facing roughly the same, because that's 3 very different industries, or do they each have their own little things that are unique to their space that they're in?
they are completely different.
Ah.
You will love the challenge, right? It's funny because I've been doing this for a long time. Like I wrote my first professional software in 1989.
Wow.
And what I like is the challenge and the variety of different projects and different industries. And now I know why. I got diagnosed with ADHD a month ago. So it's part of my hyperactivity and short attention disorder.
That's wild. All right. And then, well, maybe you can tell us a little bit. So if you were already remote, what was, the COVID era like for you? I'm sure it was challenging for everybody, but what was that like? Your company was maybe already built ready for that, but maybe your clients weren't. So how did you help them kind of navigate through that time?
So for 80% of my staff, business as usual. I do run a head office because of my condition. Actually, I cannot work from home. I need to go to an office. So we have an office with about 15 people here. 10, 15 people come to the office.
Uh-huh.
Now it's optional. They come if they want to. If they don't, but I'm here every day. I love coming to the office.
Yeah.
The one thing that we didn't have in the cloud was our accounting system. So we put that on the cloud within 2 weeks because we had everything set. We just had to push a button. And it's funny because my CFO was coming to the office every day here in Toronto. And then he said, David, after 6 months, do you think I can move to Mexico? Like I can work from home now. And I'm like, yeah. So he moved to Mexico and he immediately got 100% raise without me increasing any money.
Nice. Yeah.
For my clients, it was hard. We have a lot of manufacturing clients too. So, for example, we were doing a big business-to-business e-commerce site for a recycled plastic furniture manufacturer, and they shut down. Right, they had to shut down. So about 40% of our work got eliminated in 1 week. So that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
But usually, what we do with those situations is we redeploy our teams to work on internal projects. We make a lot of internal intellectual property that helps us be better than the competition. So we have a product called the core, which is the foundation of every new project we make. So my developers were focused on the core, making it better. So when the client came, we had more capability.
That's great. Wow. Yeah. I mean, boy, you were well positioned to be able to thrive in that environment. So that's fantastic. And then now, that we're at least depending on where you live, starting to edge out of the COVID era, has that changed the way that your customers are viewing remote work and sort of the operating principles that they were under before versus now?
Oh yeah, it's my life changed, right? So I'm the visionary, the founder and CEO of the company, and usually to close large deals, I had to go to an office and talk to people.
Yep.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
So the perception is now people accept Zoom. Online meetings are preferred. My travel cost got cut in half. I still travel because I love traveling, but it's not really necessary.
Uh-huh.
Everything is done online. So from the developer perspective, I won that battle 10 years ago. It took me a while, right? It took me 7 years to convince my clients that remote work works, and it was just proved by delivery.
Right.
But the majority didn't have any problems for us working remotely. The most we will do is we'll send an engineer to their offices a couple of weeks if there was something specific.
Yeah.
But that wasn't necessary either. It was just the safety that they felt to see a warm body in a desk, because everything was done remotely anyways. It's funny, one of my one of my best friends and senior CTO, he works for a public organization here in Toronto, and he says now they're mandated to go back to work 3 times a week. And he says when he goes to his desk, he's running all his meetings on Zoom, sitting on his desk. So it's like, why will you waste all this time and money going to an office if you're going to have Zoom meetings in the office?
Right. Right. Yeah. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, geez. Wow. Well, and how are you, reaching out to prospective customers today? Are you getting a lot of word of mouth referrals, or what's that, strategy like for you?
Yeah, Jamie, I've been always so curious about that. Everything I have tried, everything and anything on that front. Word of mouth is what works best for us.
Yeah.
I tell my team we're as good as our last project, so we rather bleed to death to make a client unhappy. And so we end up working for free for a lot of our projects that are not well calculated, and that's okay. And that also forces us to find better clients that are not going to take advantage of us.
Right.
But it's our work creates more work. Having said that, though, we have now a formal, because now we reach we're 60 people now, so we're a little bit more formal.
Yeah.
So now we have a marketing team, and they're doing digital marketing, and they're beginning to generate leads with digital marketing, which I thought it was impossible for a firm like me, but it's happening. We're closing deals now from companies that find us online and they see our reputation.
That's great. And are your clients kind of, geographically centered in one particular region, or are you starting to branch out into different countries, or what's the profile of your client base?
Yeah. Focus on the US mostly. We have some Canadian clients, and we also have a couple of clients in Mexico, and that's it.
That's great. That's great. Right on. And where can people find you on social media? Which channels are you supporting?
Personally, I only attend to LinkedIn, so just Google David Mancilla on LinkedIn, and they will find me there. But we have Facebook, we have Instagram. My marketing team runs all those social media channels. Great.
All right. Well, David, thanks so much for coming on the show today. We learned a lot, and it's going to be exciting to watch you continue to succeed in the future. So thank you. I hope you finish the end of the year strong.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for having me. It's been a pleasure.